Hey guys, it's Nolan. It's Wednesday, the 20th of July, 2021. Just sent out an updated watch list to our members, and I thought I would drop you guys a video going through some of those charts and what we think may or may not happen. Before we do that, let's just have a quick look at the news, because we've got some big-ish news coming out. We've got the Bank of Japan monetary policy statement in the early hours of tomorrow morning, so could see some volatility on the Japanese yen. Also, we've got the main refinancing rate on out of Europe, the ECB, so expect some moves on euro as well, plus some more euro news on Friday. So euro could be quite erratic as of tomorrow afternoon. So just be aware of that. Right, let's have a quick look then at the dollar index. Well, dollar index is in itself bullish, as you can see, higher highs, higher lows. Currently, what you would assume is correcting rather than a whole change of cycle. Currently correcting. And if I just draw a fib from the start of the impulse here to the end here, you can see we're at the 50% retracement. That's a kind of a minimum really that I would look for before wanting to see the next impulse. So this is a decent pullback. Now, do I think it could pull back even more? Well, we've got this 61.8% retracement here, which actually lines up with previous swing high here and resistance. So that would kind of, I would say, be technically more attractive, if you like, if price came down into this level. Now, something that we do have as well is a trend line. Just draw it in for you. Whether we want to draw it from, we'll draw it from these lows. We'll draw it from there, like that. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interactions there, and that would mean that potentially price could pull back a little bit further into the trend line. Now, the minus 61.8% fib is this line here, so it could potentially false break the trend line and then bounce, but be interesting. We're at this 50% fib, which is this line here. Let me just see if I can yeah, there we are. Bring that over a little bit. So we are roughly at that 50% fib, and you know, we could look for a change of cycle there, but I'd like to see one more move down, little bounce off this trend line, and then buyers come in, or at least come down to the the 61.8% fib retracement. So we will see anyway. If we start changing cycle here, then so be it. We'll start looking for some dollar strength. 4-hour moving averages are still bearish, as you can see. So while they are bearish like this, you would be looking at dollar weakness. Okay, so let's see what happens with this one. Still bearish at the moment. Bigger time frames, you know, this is still a bullish market, so not expecting anything different moving forward. Just looking at this as a correction of the trend, but yeah, potentially another move down here, and then looking for buyers to come in back in the direction of the bigger move. Now, one chart which I'd actually be looking to buy the USD is actually against the Japanese yen. Now, why would I say that? Because the Japanese yen is a very weak market. Now, if USD yen was to go up, obviously that means that Japanese yen is weaker than USD. Now, I'm talking about this because there was actually a setup on USD yen. Now, in theory, it kind of doesn't really make any sense to trade a weak market. So USD is weak at the moment because we're correcting. The sellers are in temporary charge of the market. and also Japanese yen is weak, but it's weaker than the dollar. So we got this hammer candle yesterday. So nice bullish trend, hammer candle there at the 8 moving average. If we were to break the high of that candle, then we would expect some more moves to the upside, at least testing the high up here. But think about it logically. Okay, well, if Japanese yen is really weak, you ideally want to trade it against something that is very strong, and a very strong market at the moment is the Aussie dollar. So what would actually be technically a better trade would be looking to go long on Aussie yen, and I'll show you the chart. So we've actually I forgot which, yeah, this one here. We actually were in a triangular formation. Okay, we've had this impulse here, triangular correction, and we've broken out now. So I am looking for further longs on this, at least back up into this high here. You can see we're pulling back at the moment, which is actually good. It gives us an opportunity to come in if we can see buyers come into the market again. So let's just have a little look at the hourly with my moving averages on. Okay, yeah, so we're getting that pullback. We're just going to look now, wait to see if we get those buyers come in. A nice green bullish candle, ideally closing above these moving averages, and basically looking for a morning star pattern, and then that could be a potential buy setup. But as you can see on the 4 hour, this is moving very, very nicely at the moment. Pull back into that 8 look. We're just either going to, depending on what time frames you trade, you could look at the 4 hour to trade if you want to, but I think certainly there could be something on the hourly worth keeping an eye out for. Morning star pattern, like I say. Otherwise, you can trade the 4 hour and you're looking for buyers to come into the market again. So out of USD yen and Aussie yen, it would actually make sense to look for longs more on Aussie yen. I hope that makes sense, because you're trading a strong currency against a weak currency, whereas USD yen is a weak currency at the moment, USD against a very weak currency. So in theory, the probability of a successful long trade would really lie with Aussie yen, as long as that Aussie is strong and that Japanese yen is weak. So out of the two, I would favor Aussie yen, and yeah, that's pulling back at the moment, so just keep your eyes on that one if you are interested. Euro Aussie, I'm not too sure whether this is on the last video that I did, I don't know, but I've literally just being very, very patient with this one. Sorry, I keep changing the old color schemes, guys. I'll just try and put it back to how it was. There we go. But very, very simply, we have support here, broke, retested here. We had a bearish flag pattern, bearish correction, broke the CTL, and now we're consolidating. Now, if that Aussie continues to be strong, I would be looking for price to drop through this daily support level. So Aussie would need to be significantly stronger than the euro. So, I mean, what's happening at the moment is pretty much nothing. It's consolidating. It's not really doing anything. It's not, I wouldn't say buyers are in charge. I wouldn't say sellers are in charge. But what I am looking for, because we've broken this counter trend line here, we've got this daily support here. Now we broke it here, which was a false break earlier. It looked like it was going to go, but no, it hasn't. So really, really simple, guys. All you're doing is waiting for the daily candles to close, and you're looking for a daily bearish close below here, below these lows. Okay, if we get that, that would potentially signify that we're seeing that strength in Aussie and weakness in euro. And then that would potentially lead us to further downside to test this support here around about 144. But at the moment, it's a market for me just to stay away from, okay? Because it's, unless you want to trade, smaller time frames and trade this range, which I've not even looked at, to be honest, because, that's going to be quite time consuming. Just have this on your watch list, and all you're doing is you're looking for that daily close below support, a bearish close below support, and then you could look to trade potentially at a sell stop or trade intraday time frames, looking for that push down into 144. But at the moment, literally nothing to do but just wait. So keep your eyes on this one. Aussie Kiwi, this looks interesting, guys. We actually took a trade on this earlier, but very basically there's a range playing out here. As you can see, we've got our upper range, we've got our lower range here, and yeah, we're in the upper range, so looking for sells on this. And we actually had a nice head and shoulder pattern on the H1 time frame. So we had our high, higher high, lower high, and your neckline or a neckline there, retest, and we've started to reject. So looking for price to move down towards this bottom of the range here. So the trade really here has gone. We've had this rejection, but if price is going to continue down to the bottom of the range, then you can look for any sell setups depending on your personal strategies or how you trade, whether it's the 15-minute, the hourly. It's a bit of a messy chart really, but you know, without the moving averages, you can see what I'm looking at, and the pullback, retest, and sellers coming in. Maybe I think on the daily there might be a setup actually. Yeah, if the daily closes like this, if you look at it that way, we have an evening star pattern. So let me just look on the 4 hour as well. We got an evening star pattern there potentially forming. I don't think the reward to risk for that trade is really going to be enough. No, it's about 0.8 to 1. Maybe you could go a bit low if you wanted to for a 1 to 1 trading that evening star. But 4 hour, you could look at, you can see that break, retest. What you could potentially trade is a sell stop underneath the swing low here, stops above the highs there, and then looking to go short down into this zone here. So have a little look at that and see if you like it, and if you do, might be one you want to have a little look at. So just bear in mind your targets and when you're going to put your trade to break even, assuming it gets triggered. I can see this nice move down here which literally came back, broke the high. So it can be a little bit of a volatile market. So, you know, I wouldn't just leave the trade if it triggers and not move your stop loss. Either move your stop loss as it runs into profit and maybe take some profit off the table. I wouldn't just let this trigger and leave it, put it that way. But yeah, we're in that triggered earlier today, and we will obviously manage it accordingly. But yeah, looking for that to push down into the lower part of the range there. One more chart I want to look at. Now we talked about gold and silver being decent months, actually, more so for silver. July being a decent month, approximately a 5% growth, and a good month for gold as well, July. Now we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that traditional seasonality for either of the metals. Doesn't mean we can't still look for it, but we're not seeing those buyers in control of either market at the moment. So there's really nothing to go along with, really. Now we had a buy limit on gold around about, I think it was 1678. So literally, you see where these lows are here? We had a buy limit. In fact, I've got my alert still there, 1678, as you can see. I'm just going to put a little description there. Now, I decided yesterday to delete that buy limit, okay, and I'm just going to go with price action. If we see price come down into this level and we see a change of cycle, then we'll start to look to buy. It is a big level, but when I zoomed out and looked on the monthly, I saw something similar here back in 2011 to up to 2013, and there was a nice level here, as you can see, but boom, came into it and actually had a monthly close below, which led to further downside. So I'm thinking that maybe the same thing could happen again. Maybe it could actually break these lows and have some downside. So hence why we've deleted the buy limit, and we'd rather go with price action. So the alert is set, and then we'll see what happens if and when price comes into this zone. We are actually short gold in a trade at the moment, running about break even at the moment. Nothing amazing at all. But yeah, I would have an alert set round about, you can go for 1680, 1678, 1679, anywhere around there, anywhere around these lows. You can see the low here was 1677, this one 1677. So hence why I've put the alert around about 1678. But yeah, is this a double top? And is this actually a neckline? Okay, is it a neckline? And we're going to do something like this. Possible. It is possible. Okay. But certainly seasonality is not playing out at the moment. So just have your alert set. I wouldn't automatically buy at that price. If you're going to buy, wait for that change of cycle on whatever time frame you want to trade. Otherwise, just have in mind this scenario here, which, probably caught the market off guard really, with this support here, and then boom, that monthly close below, which led to quite a significant downside there. So just bear that in mind. I'm just seeing this trend line here. I don't know whether we've come all the way down to this trend line, but you know what, like I say, you never know. You never know. That would be a very big move, maybe even back into 1400 or 14. Yeah, that's a big move, but we will see. I'm just thinking out loud here. We actually traveled that distance from the bottom of the range to the bottom of price action. Now I'm just having a little look at this. If you went the same distance, it would come into these lows here where we also found support. So that is round about 1451. So 1451, 1450, somewhere around there. So are we going to see a huge drop in gold? I mean, if that dollar index continues to push up, then this is obviously gold priced against the US dollar, strengthening the US dollar. We could actually see this pushed all the way down. So just bear that in mind. Be open to both scenarios. This is a level I'd like to buy gold at. I did a video on that actually. You will see in YouTube. That's where I'd like to buy gold at, but I am going to be a little bit cautious, and I want to see those buyers come in at that price before I actually go long. Okay, so I think the saying is, I'm keeping my powder dry. A very old-fashioned saying, keeping my powder dry. But if we break through, like I say, this could be a target for your short trades. Interesting. Only time will tell, guys. Only time will tell. But Aussie Kiwi looking interesting. Aussie Yen, starting to see buyers come in there. Is that going to be the morning star pattern I'm looking for? Who knows? But Aussie Yen looking really, really nice. Euro Aussie being very, very patient. US dollar, yen, more hammer candle there, maybe for you end of day traders, but Aussie yen I would say is a better one to trade. Aussie Kiwi, that range potentially playing out, and waiting for gold to come into our buy level, if you like, just to see if those buyers actually do come into the market. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But guys, that's it from me. Have a great rest of your day, and I will speak to you really, really soon. Please like the video, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, share the video as well if you know any traders that might enjoy the content that we send out. Have a good one. I'll catch you later. Bye.